regard. Forget all your differences, let we start to build. And onward to progress we surely will. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together.
Come, my brother, come, my sister, and let us build a nation. So we need to come. That's action. Come. Let's build action together, uniting forces. Yes, we may have our differences. Yes, we may support different political parties. But when it comes to building this place, we should come together and transform Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. I looked at a piece on MTV, I think, with Diali Jr., who is the caretaker for the NNP in the south of the island, South St. George. And he came across to me as being misinformed, like he doesn't know what is going on. And also, what is the cost of development? There is a cost. You can't expect the government to improve water distribution, government / NAWASA, to improve water distribution and not have inconvenience, because nearly all the lines are run under the road. And that's not now, donkey years ago. So there will be inconvenience. And while I agree, in construction, in any project, you need to try your utmost to reduce on the amount of, dust that can be in the air at any given time, wetting and that kind of thing. But still, there will be inconvenience. That is why the government constructed a number of roads, or fix a number of roads in the south, more or less bypass roads off the main, so you can pass in those roads and get to your destination. What I think should happen is the police should do more work on clearing some of these by roads. Because during the day, for example, you have people parking in the Montu area, but that road is now being used more than ever before. So you shouldn't have people parking in that area at any given time. Or the Grandans Valley. Or if you have to allow them to park, it should be at nights. Just like they do in developed countries. You give them a stipulated time that they can park. If they park outside of that time, then they're charged. So there are a number of by roads where you have so many vehicles parking up. But it's now like a main road because work is being done on the main road. So the RGPF, they need to do more. The folks on the bike, the police officers on bikes shouldn't just be run down a busman, him for picking up a passenger in St. George's or somewhere on the Grand Nance route. But it should also serve to have them go into the by roads and issue or warnings, because there is an issue that must be addressed. That is the amount of vehicles parking on those roads. And remember, that's public roads. They shouldn't be parked there in the first case. And that's not only in the Grand Nance area. In quite a number of places, they park and they think that they have a right to park there. In Springs, for example, they believe that they have a right to do so. But you build a house, not even thinking about down the road that somebody in that house may have a vehicle and there will be a need to have parking areas, right? So you have to think down the road. Once you build in a house close to the road, you should have a driveway. You should have some provision for a garage. You need to have these things in place. And maybe even two for, accommodation for 2 vehicles, because you may have a family of whatever the amount in that property, and then your child or children start making children, and then it keeps expanding. So you have to make provisions for that. You have to think down the road. So you build a house, make provision for parking, a vehicle or 2 vehicles, and then you ease up all the congestion on the main roads or the parking on the main roads. Because sometimes you have a whole line of vehicle on Locust Street, for example, and just one vehicle obstructing the flow of traffic, and you have a whole backup to go all back to the roundabout, to go down Maras Hill, or to come up, or to further go up to St. Paul's End, just one vehicle. So if the police has the bike at certain times, or even the traffic wardens, they could have them walk up Locust Street sometimes, issue tickets if they have to, or ask the people to remove their vehicles from certain locations. So there is a need for the police to ease up, to ease the burden on drivers who just want to go about their merry business. Just go about their business and reach there on time, right? Simple things like that. There is a need for the police to do more when it comes to vehicles parking on the main roads. So do not just stay in St. George's and macro those vehicles or buses, who picking up who and charging them. Get some work to do. Assign the traffic wardens to by roads. Have the motorbikes, have them go in certain, right? So you have a free flow of traffic. So I listened to Diali, and I think he's misinformed. And he spoke there without his tablet in front of him, the computer, the tablet computer. He always speaks from either a tablet or a phone or something like that. So it's a prepared script. So that one didn't go down too well. And people on that particular news item really dealt a good blow to him in terms of saying to him, you're not ready for this. All right.
We see that there is some infrastructure work going on with the national water lines to make sure that there's better infrastructure for the country. We all agree that is necessary. What we want to see, that the residents see that there's not due care and concern involved in their life, what the effect is on their livelihoods. There are a lot of people on this road who have restaurants, businesses that sell fish, crabs, bars, there's hotels, there's all types of businesses that are affected by the dust. The residents have small children who are affected by asthma, and they have to keep all their windows closed in the day and the night, making sure the house is extremely hot. They have to put on the air condition, and the cost of electricity is so high. Residents and all people in the south is complaining about convenience, that it is taking them longer to commute, and also the damage it is doing to their vehicles. We all know these things are, I don't want to always just complain. But what we want to see from the minister and the representative from the south is that the communication necessary for businesses and residents to know what is the timeline for this inconvenience. And there's options. There can be contracts so that there can be coal mix poured in all the affected areas. It may be temporary, but this is necessary for the convenience of people and for the convenience.
Right, and that is where he got it wrong. Look, while I agree there is a need for the works, that is what I know, to pass more frequently, applying water on the area that they dug up, or that they have the mud, right? So there is a need for the truck to pass more often and wet it, so you keep down the dust. I agree on that. Maybe he did not articulate it in that way, but I agree on that aspect of it. There is a need for the truck, because that particular construction company, they would have the trucks going about wetting at particular time during the day and so on. But maybe it needs to be done more often. But to say they should have coal mix applied on this while the project is going on, that would be the wrong approach. And the same Diali and the same NNP will turn around and say, but look, they're wasting money because they're applying coal mix now. The project ain't finished yet. They have not done the pressure test to know whether or not there is some area that needs readdressing and fixing, some pipe that not in place. So they have to do the pressure test. They have to test the thing. That is why they're leaving it like that, so they do not have to go back and dig up. Because remember, upon completion of the laying of the pipes, they will fix the road, I think, from the tunnel, area there, all the way down to the airport. They will pave the road and so on. So again, it is not the wisest thing to do, to go and pave now and then dig up again. That is what the NNP did with the old hospital before they built this one. A wooden structure there, well, concrete, wood. And what they did, the NNP knew that they were going to build a new hospital and they would demolish that structure. The NNP administration gave their boys, quote unquote, the contract to renovate, to fix the old hospital. And then months later, they demolished. So millions of dollars went into the pockets of their friends, the NNP administration friends. Some of them got rich out of that. So you know that you're going to demolish, but still you fix. You go and you give contracts for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then you come and you demolish it after. So you don't want to be in a similar situation where you're applying the coal mix, the asphalt, while you're laying pipes, and then you have to dig it up and do the hot mix, Or you have to pressure test, then you realize that this area, you have to go back and check it out again. You have to dig it up again. You see, development comes at a cost, and inconvenience is a part of it. But give the government applause or kudos for fixing some of these by roads that would take you to Grand Dance. And people are using them. People are using those by roads, which is great, which is fantastic. They fix quite a number of these roads, and they continue to do so. What needs to happen, maybe the people who are using the main roads, some of them could use the by roads to ease up the pressure a little more. All right, so the alley, that you don't see those things happening, or you go and put coal mix while you're doing the laying of the pipes. You have to pressure test it. This is a major project costing how much? 80 million or so dollars. This is a major project, so it comes with a cost. So, Diali, I mean, you're new to this, all right? While I note the concern with the dust, that they need to wet it more often, still, you need to kind of understand that's the cost of development, inconvenience. Very soon, they would complete that project. They're working quite speedily, and things going to happen in the south. The roads will be prim and proper. All right. So let's continue. Karaku.
Government of Grenada, through the Ministry of Carrick and Petty Martinique Affairs and Local Government, continues to support families affected by Hurricane under the Build Back Better housing project. Over the weekend, 5 additional homes were handed over to families in Brunswick, Leicester, Havyvale, Bellevue South and Bogles. Minister for Carriacou and Petty Martinique Affairs and Local Government, the Honourable Tevin Andrews, said a recent assessment revealed that more than 78% of damaged roofs have already been reconstructed, signalling strong progress in the island's recovery effort.
Yes, so I want to commend the Honorable Tevin Andrews. He's doing a fantastic job in Karaku. And mind you, you're not hearing the NNP talking about these things. They will not highlight the amount of roofs that have been reconstructed and materials given to homeowners, the amount of Build Back Better houses. They're not interested in talking about these things. Even that road at Calivini, where there was a halt for a while, and the NNP beat up on it, they beat up on it, they beat up on it. Now, a lot of work is being done there to complete the project. You're not hearing them talk about this. They're not interested in talking about the positive things that are happening in the country. So nothing is wrong with you condemning, But when it's being done and done right, or things are happening, I think it is important that they talk about it, that they highlight it. Because this is key. You have to be balanced. You have to be able to, come out and say, this is good. This work is fantastic. We commend the government. We applaud the government. But they would not commend the government. They would not applaud the government. They would not highlight any good thing that this government is doing. But they don't understand the electorate. You have an informed electorate. People who are following the happenings in the country every minute, every hour, every day. So your negativity will not overshadow or will not cause people who have a positive outlook on life to stick there, being negative, or follow you to become a negative person. There are too many good things in the country to stick in the negative corner, only complaining, grinding and groaning and moaning. All the bad things you have to say. But what's about the good things that are happening in the country? Why not talk about them too? Why not highlight them too? That's key. Because a person would say, well, every time you're complaining, so every time it's about only something bad. What's about the good things too? So you're saying to me nothing good is happening in this place? So there is a need for the opposition to understand that Grenadians are more intelligent. Grenadians are smarter. And they're experiencing, they're seeing good things happening. So if every time you go on a platform, all you have is negative things to say, in fact, they're concocting stories. The NS talking about the Chinese low-income houses, and she start speaking about or using words to the effect that they're giving it to who and who and selling it to who and who, foreigners and whoever, what's to that effect. And I happened to come in Housing Authority to find out. And Housing Authority said to me, Kem, that's not happening. That is not. It's not happening. Housing Authority say, well, it is. They said, hi, just a correction. I saw the recording, with Clarice Modest. No Chinese units have been sold to persons outside of Grenada. So to date, no Chinese units have been sold to people outside of Grenada. But if you're a Grenadian, you have a right to owning a home. If you're a Grenadian. All right? When we say ask, they are telling me, ask the opposition to name one person, just one person, overseas who got a Chinese low-income house or apartment. Just one. And location. Is it in Corinth? Is it in St. Patrick, Mali? Is it in Bouchejou? Just one. Name just one. They can't. They are not able to name any who outside of got an apartment. But even if they get an apartment, we pay for it. What is wrong with that? Nothing is. We all are Grenadians. But that's how the NNP operates. They concoct stories. They create stories that doesn't exist. They lie so much that when you fact check it, what they're saying truth. But they do it anyways because to them, it sounds nice. To them, condemning and criticizing easy. Is to put the facts on the table. Because the NNP, they don't care about facts and evidence. They go on a program and they yap. And they hope that some people are going to fall for it because they're unsuspecting people out there. They're vulnerable. And the NNP administration, during their time, they know fully well about people who are vulnerable and taking advantage of these people. So again, a lot of good things are happening for our country and for our people. And we need to applaud the government for making sure that the development is not just concrete roads or concrete drains, but also the development of people, lifting the living standard and conditions of our people, focusing the lens on our people. That is what the government is doing. I want to say to you, in moving forward, the NDC intends to have a big engagement, a rally, from what I understand, at Telescope, because people have been calling for a rally, a massive, in the St. Andrew area, because we are accustomed to having rallies in the south or having rallies in St. George. So now it's time to have a rally in St. Andrew. That date, I think I saw it as the 23rd of November. 23rd of November. So it will be at Telescope. It's quite a huge playing field. It's quite a huge field. So the NDC saying, mark down, mark that date down. All right, which is great, which is good if you ask me. So St. Andrew, I think I saw it somewhere about. All right. Yeah, so the date's 23rd. 23rd, I think I saw. Right. But anyways, they're moving to St. Andrew, and that's good because a lot of people are looking forward to a rally. So organize, mobilize. Let's make it big. Let's make it huge. Let's make it grand. Because to me, the NNP needs to go back in the shell. They're out there having their meetings on Thursdays. Poorly attended, have been poorly attended, the NNP. So we need to have a huge rally up there in St. Andrew, and that is exactly what will happen. 23rd of November. Andrew is the police. Telescope is the police. And as Clean said, yellow is the code. Yellow is the code. Our beloved Prime Minister, he heads Florida. I think it's today because the event is on the weekend. Tomorrow, in fact.
Attention everyone! Join us for a night to remember at the NDC Florida chapter's 3rd anniversary celebration on Saturday, November 8th. Indulge in a delicious buffet that's $100 and mingle with friends and fellow supporters as we celebrate our achievements. Our esteemed guest of honor, political leader, and Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell will be there to share his insights. Get ready for a vibrant Caribbean cultural experience at the MOV Fusion Board located at 4575 North Road. Enjoy performances from Alba Boy, Posh, and Anila Welch Miller that will keep you entertained all night long. It's a semi-formal affair, so dress to impress. Mark your calendars for Saturday 8th and be part of an unforgettable evening.
Yes. So, Florida, the NDC chapter in Florida, they're having that 3rd event. Please support our beloved Prime Minister will be there. I think the Honorable Ron Redhead will be there too, and somebody else. So that is really great. And they have been doing a fantastic job in that chapter. They gave $100 worth of equipment and supplies to NULO. All right, I think it's $100,000 worth. Yeah, either 40 or 50 $1,000 US to NULO, the New Life organization. So they're doing a fantastic job, the Florida chapter of the. So big up your whole self. It was in the news.
It was $40,000. Brand new tools and equipment were officially handed over to the organization on Monday. Donation secured through Grenada's Diaspora in Florida is being hailed as a lifeline for technical and vocational training. NULO's Executive Director, Sister Margaret Yamwa, explained why this support is so crucial.
Think about it. If NULO wasn't in existence, what would happen to all of you? And the Prime Minister and his government recognize this. And this is the reason why, when they are seeking support for education, they don't just focus on NULO.
She said the donation in skilled areas from construction and hospitality to renewable energy and early childhood care. Leading the effort in the United States was Leslie McQueen of the NDC Florida chapter. He stated that education remains one of the best investment Grenadians at home and abroad.
This tool project should be very significant to NULO because in our commitment to youth development, you are the first recipients in this initiative. And the items donated specific needs of the school, the Margaret said again, which was carefully selected by her staff. And here I hasten to add that while we were unable to secure the list of tools requested to you, that the tools that we are presenting here today will withstand more wear and tear and will be able to last for a very, very long time.
Prime Minister Cello, who was instrumental in connecting new partners, said the institution has changed perceptions and is now a key pillar in Grenada's workforce.
And NULO is a mainstream institution throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Mac. And I dare say, in many aspects of life, particularly employment in Grenada, if there was no, I don't want to imagine sectors of Grenada could look like. I could take air condition, for example. The reality is, there is no other institution that is producing air condition and tech refrigeration persons for the job market in Grenada.
Officials say the $40,000 worth of equipment will benefit more than 400 trainees every year, equipping them not only with tools, confidence and opportunities. Christelina John, GBN News.
Right, so that's very good. Wonderful. So that particular chapter there, the New York chapter, they celebrate years in existence. And it was a well-organized event. The Honorable Kireen James, she was the guest at that event. She had a meet and greet. Then she had I think they had the big celebration. And the room was packed to capacity. And I love that. Everywhere the NDC goes, you get that kind of turnout. And same thing would happen. Same thing would happen there. It would be a great turnout. And folks, if you have not yet gotten your tickets, please try and get your tickets, organize and be a part of the 3rd anniversary of the Florida chapter. And other chapters are popping up in the United States to raise funds and to help Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Mac, which is a good thing. is an excellent thing. So let's keep it going. All right, let's keep it going. So Canada, they're having an event, the NDC chapter in Canada. Chapters, they are very, very active. I want to commend you. I want to applaud you. You know, you don't hear about NNP and their chapters doing anything. And if they do anything, it's bust. It's always a bust event, a busted event, or event that just...
The NDC Canada chapter presents its pre-Christmas dinner and dance, happening on Saturday, November 15, 2025, at the Church of the Nativity Banquet Hall, Malvern, 10 Seawells Road. Come and enjoy a delicious mouth-watering buffet dinner served at 6 p.m., followed by an evening of music, laughter, and dancing, with music by DJ Andy and Selector Vibes. Tickets $75. And yes, there are lots of door prizes to win. It's a pre-Christmas celebration and fundraiser, all in support of moving Grenada forward. Listen, get your tickets today. Call 416-209-6226, Julian at 647-561-4350, or Louise at 905-865-1027. E-transfer payments will be accepted.
Yes, so that's really good. And my good pal saying to me regarding the Miami event, Florida event. So the Honorable Ron Reddit will be there. So the Most Honorable Deacon Mitchell and Dr. Tessa Sensei will be there also. And there might be others who will be there in Miami or in Florida for that event. All right, in Florida. It's quite a big state. And Canada, chapter there, please support them. Please support them. They're doing a fantastic job. The NDC is at work, home, and in the diaspora. And we are seeing the fruits of that. So keep doing what you're doing. We appreciate it. And we note it. We observe it. All the chapters and all the people who are working tirelessly to make things happen for the NDC and for Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. So that's the way to go. Folks, I want to encourage us to remain focused, because as you get closer to the election, or as I always say, stupid season, there will be a lot of things done to derail us, to distract us from doing what we set ourselves out to do for our people. So remaining focused is key. We still have a lot to accomplish together. And with your help, with your support, it can happen. But we need to remain focused. The NNP will throw all kinds of stuff at you. They would say all kinds of stuff about the NDC, about our beloved Prime Minister, about the government, about government ministers. But if you are focused and informed, then they will not get anywhere with that. And that is why I try to provide you with information to empower you. To empower you. Because when you engage, when you meet some of these detractors, some of those NNP of progress, enemy of progress, NNP of progress, enemy of progress, those NNP supporters who hate progress, who hate to see what's happening in the country, you have to be well armed with information. Sometimes the conversation doesn't worth it. Sometimes you just ignore them. Sometimes, again, you have to put the facts on the table. You have to lay it all out. So being informed will cause you to remain focused. Because what the NDC is doing now, we have not seen that in years in Grenada. And we can look at so many projects and so on and remain focused. For example, Lewis, he was on the news recently saying this.
Where, for the first time in my living memory, we have had an application to represent workers, which is a right rejected by the Ministry of Labor. And that is the workers at the Grenada Airports Authority.
Right, so he's saying it is the rights of the workers to be represented by a union. Okay, but it's also the right of the Ministry of Labor to deny a request to have this particular facility unionized. All right? So it's also the right of the minister, the right of the government to say, hey, this service will not be unionized because it's an essential service. It's, they would give reasons. They would explain why. Because I remember that was in the news and it didn't go with Andrew Lewis but he's talking about the government and this about the government and that. But you know that this government has done the most for workers in this country. This government. But he has strength when it comes to government. When it comes to SGU, for example, the SGU workers during COVID and after COVID-19, he didn't have much strength where that is concerned. But when it comes to government or some statutory body, he always has strength to deal with those issues. And he's talking about union busting and all this nonsense.
A matter that was in the news, and I'm placing it there because it can have implications or will have implications going forward. The report was for 2024, but because I'm dealing with 2025, just to place on record, our concern that this administration has developed a reputation, a record for probably the only administration to have rejected an application for a group of workers, part of a trade union, a bargaining unit. In a particular instance where, for the first time in my living memory, we have had an application to represent workers, which is a right rejected by the Ministry of Labor. And that is the workers at the Grenada Airports Authority. If you deny workers from being able to enjoy the benefit of belonging to a trade union of their choice for workplace representation.
Yes, so folks, it's a good move by the government not to have this union at the airport because, you see, the airport is so important to the development of this country. And these guys, they're tactical. So they want to control the port. No Tau, they have control in terms of union, being the union for customs, the port authority, I think. The folks on the port, our main port. But they also want to control the airport. So if they strike on the port and they strike on the airport, what would become of people who want to travel, who want to continue with a little business and collect goods and so on the port and on the airport? So the NDC is not stupid. The government see this as a threat. They're not stupid because, this guy and this union, they always quick to dung tools or ask the workers to down tools, to strike, to protest. So you were denied. The union was denied. And we want to applaud the government. This is the way to go. You have to put your feet down. The workers are receiving their due salary. They are treated fairly, and they're okay. We don't want any disruptors at the airport. We don't want that. In fact, I commended the airports authority, the level of efficiency, the level of service. The Grenada Airports Authority are doing a fantastic job, but they have been training their staff. They have been upgrading them and helping them to develop. And that's something that we are seeing playing out in terms of the quality of service delivered. And the department, you're doing a fantastic. Customs also, you're doing a good job at the airport, and people are noticing it. They're recognizing it. So keep it up. And I'm happy that they denied this whole request for union airport, and particularly this union. You were able to get the port, but not the airport. I love that. Going. Because it's a strategy. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, but they're not getting through, which is fantastic. They're not successful with their mission. I saw a good partner yesterday, Peter David. You know, we had a rap, but Peter not going to go anywhere with any third party or fourth or fifth party. This is a big joke. It's a big showmanship. Nothing more than that. All right. Folks, I want to again say to you that this program is funded by people just like you. If you follow the program, you listen to the program, and you want to give to the program financially to keep it going, to make sure that you can do so. The number that's scrolling under the program now, 1473-538-0933. You can send me a WhatsApp on that number saying, hey, Kem, I want to give something. How can I do so? I can give you the Zelle number that you can Zelle it at, right? You can Zelle it to if you're in the United States, if you're in Canada, the UK, you know, you can call me up. You can send donations via Western Union or MoneyGram. You can do those things. But just contact me. My other two numbers, 1473-415-4817. 1473-415-4817. Or 403-1019. So these numbers you can reach me at and, you know, give financially to the program to keep it going. We have bills to pay. We have commitments to meet. And the little that you give will go a long way. And thanks to all the people who have given so far, who continue to give every month the little that they can to keep the program going. All right? So I want to wish you all the best. Have a wonderful weekend. And we'll see you again on the next program, because we have to continue to educate and empower our people. So bye.